Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you all to this thesis defense held by Faculty of International Business, Banking Academy of Vietnam. I am Hai from Faculty of International Business, and I will be moderating the proceedings. In this graduation defense seminar, we ask that you hold questions until after the candidate has independently defended the work that has been completed. After each student presentation, questioning will process in stage, starting with the general audience and ending with the evaluation committee. And now we want to remind students about the rules of the defense. Each student has about 10 minutes, but no longer than 50 minutes for presentation, and 5 minutes for Q&A section. Before starting, we want to wish the best of luck to all of students defending today. Now let's get started with the first presentation today. A presentation, Lan Anh. Vietnamese agriculture export has many chances to grow after the signed free trade agreement between EU and Vietnam, the EVFTA. However, the export of agricultural products of Vietnam still has limitations and challenges, such as lack of information or low level of labor. And now, Lan Anh, with her presentation on exporting agricultural products of Vietnam to the European unit market, situation and solution, will show us the recommendation for Vietnamese agriculture export. Now it's time for you, Lan Anh. Best of luck. Lan Anh, please.
Good day, everybody. Let me introduce myself. My name is Lan Anh, a senior international business student at Banking Academy. Today, I am honored to be here in defense of this thesis, talk about my topic, exporting agricultural products to Vietnam to the EU market, the situation and solution. So first, my presentation is divided into 5 parts. The first part is introduction. It is about the literature review and research proposed. The chapter 1 is about theoretical foundation. The chapter 2 is about the situation of Vietnam agriculture.
Excuse me, Lan Anh, I cannot see your face. Turn on your camera, please.
I still turn on my camera. Do you see me?
Yes.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
I'll start with the introduction. I know that the issue of exporting agricultural products to the EU is an issue that has been discussed and studied in many previous works, both in foreign countries and Vietnamese. The work study a variety of factors, both subjective and objective, that affect export, but in general, they are not clear about the impact of politics, of institutional quality and technology gap. So in this thesis, I will clarify the impact of the 2 factors to the export of agricultural products. About the research purpose, I would like to analyze the situation of Vietnam agricultural export to the EU market and the factor affecting the export of Vietnamese agricultural products. I also propose some solutions and recommendations for both Vietnamese government and enterprise. And the ultimate target is to promote the export of agricultural products. The next, I'll move on to to chapter 1. Chapter 1 is about theoretical foundation of agricultural product exporting. I have an overview of agricultural product exporting. The first is definition of agricultural products. The second, I have some characteristics of agricultural product. The first is seasonal, depend on natural condition, directly affects the health of consumer, rich need and diversity of category. And the last, agricultural product are fresh product. About the role of agricultural product exporting, they bring a large source of foreign currency revenue and an important source of capital. They also solve job issue, increase income, and protect the environment and other social issues. There are many factors affecting on agricultural products, both subjective factor and objective factor. And in this thesis, I use gravity model to assess the influence of the factor on agricultural export. The factor I use in gravity model are: the first is GDP, the second is population, the third is area of agricultural land, the fourth is science and technology, the fifth is government policy, and the last is distance between two countries. Now let me turn to chapter 2. Chapter 2 is about the situation of Vietnam agricultural product exporting to the EU market. First, I have some information about the relationship between Vietnam and the EU. The EU is one of Vietnam's leading trading partners. The relationship between two countries is also cooperation, integration, and they have a sustainable development. Recently, the EVFTA agreement between the two countries has officially come into effect. The comprehensive, high-quality agreement is provide a free trade system which directly benefit both Vietnam and the EU. I also have some characteristics of the EU agricultural markets. The first is capacity. EU has 27 members, accounted for 20% of the total global GDP, and it also have a large imported product demand. The second is custom and distribution channel. Customers in EU have a favor of world-famous products, and they also have a distribution channel same as another country. They have a wholesale network and a retail network. The first is trade policy. Trade policy contains intra-regional trade policy and foreign trade policy. And the last trade barrier. Trade barrier are divided into two types. They are tariff barrier and non-tariff barrier. Through a brief study of the EU market. Next, we will look at the actual export of Vietnamese agricultural products to the EU in recent years. This table briefly shows the export data of some agricultural products of Vietnam to the EU. The first one, I have the coffee export turnover by 2020. Vietnam's coffee export volume to the EU reached at 1,416 million USD. Export volume accounts for half of Vietnam's total coffee export. I think this is an impressive number because the EU is the main and largest coffee export market of Vietnam. In terms of market share, Vietnam is a country with the second largest export coffee market share in the EU. So next is export turnover of pepper to the EU. By 2020, the total volume of Vietnam pepper to the EU was more than 145 million USD, accounting for 23.1% of the total export volume. However, recently, Vietnam pepper export turnover has tended to decrease significantly. The reason is that Vietnam has to compete with other rivals. Nevertheless, Vietnam is still one of the biggest pepper exporters to the EU. And the last one is vegetable and fruits volume. The export volume of vegetable and fruits in recent years has been on an uptrend despite ongoing COVID-19 epidemic. By 2020, the export volume to the EU reached at over 140 million USD, accounting for 3.3% of the total export turnover of Vietnam. Although output increased, the market share is still very small. It's only 0.13%. The next part is about the result of gravity model. Look at the table, we can see that agricultural land, distance, institution, GDP, population, and technology gap have positive impact on export turnover. So we can conclude that all the factors have a positive impact on the export turnover of agricultural products. And besides, they also have outstanding results. The first one is about technology gap, and the second is institutional quality. About the first one, I think it can be explained that Vietnam is a developing country, so we are still focused on agriculture sector to increase production and export. While EU are developing countries, so they focus on industry and service sector, so it is easily to understand that they will reduce production of agricultural products. About the institutional quality, I think the more policy be improved, the more export turnover gain. Over the year, despite many fluctuation trade in agricultural products between Vietnam and the EU, they have still gained certain achievement. The first is export growth rate is generally increasing year by year. The second is that the EU is Vietnam's second largest export market, and the last market share also seen uptrend each year. Besides the achievement, we also encounter certain difficulty. The first one is that our products are less diversified and depends on a number of key partners. The second is we are still mainly focused on exporting unprocessed products instead of processed products. The third is our human resources have not met the requirement. The fourth is our enterprise don't meet the strict requirement and regulation of the EU. And the last, we have limitation in investment policy for agricultural development. I think the limitation can be caused by objectives and or subjective factor. I propose that some that could be the first one is subjective factor. The first is label specialization. Label in Vietnam is fragmented and has not yet been specialized. The second is labor quality. The quality of human resources is not high. The third is finance. Our access to financial resources is limited. The fourth is technology. Production technology in Vietnam is still backward, not invested and developed. And the last is supplier. The number of suppliers is small and the competitive is low. The next is about objective reason. The first is economy. Vietnam has significant difference in economic potential, namely GDP. The second is technology. Technology in Vietnam has not been invested for development. The third is policy. Vietnam policy system to improve the export is still inadequate. The fourth is geography. Geographic distance between Vietnam and EU increase the delay in exporting and transportation costs. And the last is relationship. Trade relationship is not solid with customer in the EU. That's all I have to say in chapter 2. In chapter 3, I will present the orientation of government in the next few years and propose some solution for the issue. About the orientation, in terms of direction, the government places main direction on products development and marketing. The core purpose of this is to help to improve the quality and diversification of products, besides support to reach and expand into niche market. I also have some solution for Vietnamese business. The first one is that enterprise need to invest in modern technology and improve labor productivity and product quality. They also have to diversify product and complying with the regulation on quality inspection system and measurement standard. They also should optimize on production and importing material and strengthen trade promotion and market development. As the last, they need to diversify import and export market. About the solution for government, I think government should strengthen the organization of export activity of Vietnamese agricultural products to the EU market. Moreover, they need to complete and narrowed mechanism and policy to be consistent with EVFTA. And the last, government should improve quality and efficiency in agricultural production. Move to the last part, I have some conclusion and recommendation for government and business. About the recommendation, from my view, I would propose some recommendation to both business and government as below. The first one is business. I think business should explore the differences in development levels and seize the opportunity from the EV FTA. Moreover, they also need to research and update regulation and standard of the EU. Besides, they also need to build and develop brand and have to re-understand of each EU market. About the government, I think government has to assess the competitiveness of each major agricultural product in the EU. Also, they also need to perfect the institutional system and exploit the benefits stemming from difference in development. Moreover, they also need to develop a reasonable non-tariff policy and raise awareness and disseminate about technical barriers. The last part is conclusion. I think through the thesis, we can see that promoting of export of Vietnamese agricultural products to the EU market is very important. It contributes significantly to develop of the economy. We need to make efforts and close coordination between management agency and enterprise to achieve best results. That brings us to the end of my presentation. Thank you for attention, and I'll be glad to answer any question you might have.
Okay, thank you so much, Lan Anh, for your nice presentation. And from your presentation, I feel quite impressed about your knowledge, your writing, and your English skill, and your economic knowledge. And we all know that when Vietnam signed the EVFTA, that will bring the advantage to the Vietnam economy, but we don't know which sector will take the most benefit and how to achieve those benefits. And from your presentation, you show us that the agriculture sector will that are one of the sector to achieve the most advantage. And through your presentation, we learned how to achieve those benefits. And I think your presentation is good, and you have the strong foundation about the theoretical knowledge, and then you apply the useful and suitable the econometric model to solve for your research question. And I quite impressive about that. And I have a question for you. My question is that recently the EVFTA agreement between Vietnam and the EU has officially come into effect. What should Vietnam do to take advantage of EVFTA opportunity? Okay, and other member committee will have the question for you, please.
Okay, so thank you, Lan Anh, for your presentation. And here is my questions. In the process of integration, local enterprises will face increased competition. What can local exporters do to survive?
Well, thanks for your valuable reviews and interesting question. I would like to answer the question about the take advantage of the EVFTA first. I think it's certain that the benefits of EVFTA brings to Vietnam economic growth are huge. In order to take advantage of this agreement, I suggest businesses and government urgently need to do a few things as follows. So firstly, it is necessary to have a clear understanding of the regulation and standard of the agreement, especially SPS, TBT, and tariff reference. So next, we need to research opportunity and challenge for the EU market, especially improve quality and diversity products. And the last is improving competitiveness and gradually move toward to other niche target markets instead of just focusing on large market. About the question that enterprise need to do in survive in COVID-19, I think the COVID-19 pandemic has negatively affected all sectors such as economy, society, health, environment, and culture. In particularly, the economy is the most severely affected sector. In this situation, I think enterprise should to pay special attention to business plans, manage cash flow reasonably, strictly implement epidemic prevention measures, and consider seriously make preventive plans. That's all of my question. Thanks for the listening.
Okay. Well, I think your answers have helped to show the opportunities and challenges that the EVFTA brings to Vietnam, as well as the solutions that Vietnamese enterprises should apply to improve their competitiveness. You did a great job. Congratulations on completing your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.